Imagine a world where you need a digital ID for everything, to log onto your phone, to buy food, even to log onto the internet. Digital ID can be as simple as a username or password, or as advanced as biometric authentication tied to government records. They're sold to us via convenience, security, inclusion, and efficiency. Faster access to services. They're stronger than physical documents if implemented well. They can provide legal identity for people without physical documents. It reduces paperwork and fraud. There's also a number of challenges and concerns that come with digital IDs. Privacy, security, exclusion and trust, risks of surveillance and misuse of personal data. Different systems don't always work together. People without digital access can be left behind. Citizens must really trust the issuing authority, do we? Digital IDs are not just about proving who you are. They can become a gateway to modern life through access control, surveillance and dependency. ID can be made mandatory for banking, healthcare, travel or even shopping. Every interaction, purchases, movements, communications could, theoretically, be logged against your ID. If an ID is revoked, frozen or restricted, a person could be excluded from essential services. China's social credit system is the most well-known example. Behaviours, be it financial, law compliance or even social, all feed into a score. With a digital ID as the anchor, everything you do online or offline, shopping, bills, social media activity, can be tied to your profile. Consequences for low credits might include travel restrictions, blocking flights, trains, etc., limited access to schools, loans or jobs, and blacklists for undesirable behaviour. Undesirable to who? The issuing authority. You need to understand how carbon credits and tracking also link to digital IDs. Proposals for carbon tracking involve linking consumption data, energy bills, transport purchases, to an individual's digital identity. Examples of this being explored are carbon wallets, purchase monitoring, and incentives or restrictions. I.e., if you run out of credit, you might have to pay more or be restricted altogether. If you buy a lot of high emission products, frequent flights, red meat, fast fashion, credits will be deducted. And if you run out of credits, you may have to pay more or be restricted from certain purchases. Digital IDs and CBDCs, programmable money, where your money can only be spent on approved items. For example, if your ID shows you've hit your sugar quota for the month, your card might decline a purchase of a fizzy drink. This could also lead to dynamic pricing, where you pay higher penalty prices if your carbon or social score is low. This could ultimately create a digital cage where freedom is conditional, a risk of authoritarian misuse, denying dissenters access, and it could also deepen inequality. Those with low access to resources or tech will be penalised. Digital IDs by themselves are just tools, but once linked to financial systems, consumption data and behaviour tracking, they become the foundation for a social scoring or carbon rationing system. Technology now makes this all possible, but the real issue is how much control governments and corporations should have over individual life choices.